Hi guys, welcome to Flash Fact. Essentially today we're going to explore the on-duty menu. It may seem simple enough, but I've seen people struggle with it, so let's do a quick video about that. Essentially, you have various tabs as you can see. In the event tab, you'll have essentially various events. There's Legends PvE that goes there, where you actually do select few missions with Legends PvE Legends characters. You also have the seasonal events, which happen about 4 or 5 times a year. I don't recall on the top of my head. Essentially, there's the Halloween one, the Christmas one, the Valentine's Days one, the St. Patrick's one. There's one. There's the summer seasonal, and I'm sure I'm forgetting one. But anyways, so for example, at Halloween, there's a mission that gets added to the event tab that has to do with Clarion the Witch Boy. So it's on those missions. The event missions are only there for a select amount of time, and also there's the survival mode that goes into the event. Essentially, it's a mode that we have once in a while where you can fight enemies and you have to survive round after round after round. There's 20 rounds so far. As far as I know, no one went up to round 20. I think the highest was around, I don't know, 13 or something like that. But I could be mistaken. I didn't really follow up about that. Anyway, essentially, survival mode is for end game players. It's where you go to fight the toughest monsters you can find, and you have to survive as many rounds as you can. If you can reach up to 20, good. If you don't, well, you go as far as you can, and that's all you can do. Then there's the one player tab. Essentially, there you will have the vault, and you will have challenge modes up to from tier 1 to tier 6. There's no tier 4, so don't look for it. It's just for tier 4. It's open. It's missions in the open world. You have missions in Gotham and missions in Metropolis. That's where essentially the solo missions for tier 4 are. For two players, again, you go from tier 1. In this case, you go up to tier 7. I'm not sure. Essentially, the tier the solo mission for tier 7 is like an operation. So that's why it's not in the on duty tab. So for the duos, you go from 1 to 7, and for the four-player missions, there's two things for the four-player missions. There's what's known as the alerts, and there's also what's known as the operations. The distinction is pretty simple. The alerts are usually contained within one instance, as opposed to the operations. You will travel from instance to instance, or even the open world. So you could start for operations. You could start a mission inside an instance, then leave the instance and go into the, let's say, Metropolis open world, and then the last part of the mission you would go back into an instance and finish the mission there. So for the alerts, essentially for the alerts, they started giving us what is known as elite alerts. So essentially, we have a regular version of the alert, and you have the elite version, which is harder and will give better equipment, and sometimes it will give exclusive equipment. Like we have the elite gear now that we can get through the four-player alert. So for the eight-player missions, it's pretty much the same thing. Except you have raids and you have operations. Again, the operations work pretty much like the alerts. The distinction is that there's 8 players as opposed to 4 players. For the raids, essentially when you start you have the novice raids for tier 2 and tier 3, and then you've got the expert raids for tier 2 and tier 3, and then and then you go into tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, and then even in the expert raids, you have again you have the expert raid Throne of the Dead, and you have the elite version of Throne of the Dead. The same with Happiness Home. You'll have the regular version and you'll have the elite version. So that's pretty much the distinction between both. You also have your arena where you go from 1 versus 1 up to 8 versus 8. And you have the Legends PvP where you go from 1 versus 1 against to up to 8 versus 8. The distinction arena you play with your own character. In Legends PvP, you play using legend characters. I will probably do another video explaining the legend characters, so don't worry about that. And just a quick example of how you use the cure system. It's pretty simple. You click on the square button to add the scenario to your missions. Then you click on the triangle to cure for the missions. Then you'll see a little thingy appear in the corner that says no role selected. So you go on top of that, you click the X, and here you can choose the role of your character. In the case of this character, I can only choose damage and healer. I cannot choose controller and tank, but essentially all the characters can choose between both roles. So whatever roles you can actually play, you will select those. And when you're done, you confirm it with the triangle. And then when you're done, you click on the X to say ready, and you will be ready to go into the mission. So it's pretty much that simple for the on duty menu. The distinction for the Legends PvP is that, or even the event, is that when you select the mission, again you saw I select the mission, I confirm, and then you see that character that appears in the corner with a question mark on top of it. Essentially, it's telling you that you need to go and select a legend character. So you can select any legend character you have unlocked. And let's assume you haven't unlocked any legend characters for some reason. Every week there should be a free legend character. Oh, did they? I guess there's not. Oh well, usually there's supposed to be a free legend character. I'm not sure why it's not there, unless it was removed and I'm not aware of it. Either way, doesn't really matter. Later down the road, I'll make a quick video about the legend characters themselves, so it'll make more sense when I do that. So that was Flash Fact for the On Duty menu. I hope you guys learned a thing or two, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.